To remain updated with the latest business news, click on the bell icon.
Now, pettier, not pettier, ransomware, malware, all of this can sound a little complicated and it sounds like tech lingo. So just to break it down and to dissect and analyze what exactly is happening in this cyber war between Russia and Ukraine, we have one of the world's top cybersecurity experts joining us, Mikko Hypponen. Thanks so much for speaking to us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Mikko, but this has happened before, right? I mean, in the situation in Georgia and also a few years ago in Crimea, we saw these denial of service attacks. And of course, we've seen Viper now. This is also the region from where back in the days in the cybersecurity world, we spoke about pettier and not pettier. This is not a region which is any stranger to any of these sort of cyber threats.
That is correct. We've seen plenty of activity in all of the ex-Soviet states. Definitely from the organized crime gangs, but also from the governments. In fact, I would claim that Ukraine is one of the best countries in Europe in defending themselves against national or nation state sponsored cyber attacks, because they've been defending themselves against these attacks for basically 7 years now. However, what is something that we see for the very first time ever anywhere in the world, that there's an open conflict going on and the leadership of a country is asking civilians, outsiders, hackers and hacktivists to join the battle and to attack their targets. This is completely new.
We're living in 2022 in an age of crypto, the metaverse, AR, AI, machine learning and stuff like that. And then we're talking about how systems can be crippled with DDoS attacks, how power grids can be stopped. We're talking about building smart cities around the world with EVs, how all of these infrastructure systems and supporting systems can actually be crippled with a piece of code. How exactly are the two nations battling it out when it comes to this sort of cyber modern warfare situation?
You are correct. We are making ourselves more vulnerable by using technology and connectivity everywhere. And I'm saying this as the father of the Hypponen law, which says that if it's smart, it's vulnerable. All the smart devices we're building, everything we're connecting to the internet, they bring us benefits, but they also make us more vulnerable. We are going towards a world where it's not only electricity grid, which we need everywhere, we also need the internet grid everywhere. And if it doesn't work, then our societies don't work. And a good example of how these attacks are done in practice, as you mentioned, are these denial of service or distributed denial of service attacks. And these are very simple attacks, but also very effective. It's basically a traffic jam on the internet. Any road, if it has too much cars, too much traffic, slows down and eventually traffic stops. When the jam clears out, there's no permanent damage, but while the attack or jam is underway, nothing works. This is what a denial of service attack is. It's generating too much traffic against a web server, an email server, anything that runs on the internet, and it will slow down. But when the attack stops, there's no permanent damage.
Mikko, we live in this incredibly connected, globalized world where 5G is the talk of the town now, and everyone's talking about that even at events nowadays. It's all about how 5G is going to change things, the Internet of Things and stuff like that. And when we're talking about a situation like this, and of course the increased usage of cryptocurrencies during this particular war and in the past few months here in India and around the world, you're sitting in Helsinki, I'm here in Mumbai. How immune are we to some of these, spillovers or ramifications from this sort of online war between Ukraine and Russia? I'm guessing none of us are really immune to this, wherever we are in this world.
The Russia-Ukraine conflict has already multiple times expanded itself beyond the borders of Ukraine. We've seen this already years ago. The most gripping example is the NotPetya attack of 2017, so 5 years ago, which was a Russian attack against Ukraine critical infrastructure and everyday businesses. And that was a worm which was targeting systems inside Ukraine, but it hit companies which were operating globally, including in Ukraine. And once this attack hit the internal networks of global enterprises, it didn't just destroy information physically in Ukraine, but everywhere within that enterprise. As an end result, multiple Western companies lost tens of thousands of workstations and servers. We know of multiple companies which reported losses of hundreds of millions of US dollars because they were hit with a Russian cyber weapon, which was really targeting Ukraine. And now, during this conflict, the Hermetic Viper attack, which started on the 23rd of March, we already have examples of that hitting Latvia and Lithuania, which are close by countries to Ukraine. So internet has no borders. It's all too easy for cyber weapons to spread to places which were not really the original target.
Mikko, thanks so much for sharing those insights with us here on this special broadcast. We really hope to continue to have these conversations with you in the coming days.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.